give you things.
That's right. It's a bit like free beer tomorrow, isn't it? Ephemeral promise.
Petrol tomorrow.
Yeah.
Don't buy it today.
Yeah. Lower taxes tomorrow as well.
Okay, silence, guys.
Very good afternoon from Sydney Harbour for heats 6 and 7 of the Australian 18-foot skiff championship, and I hope you're enjoying our coverage on 18-footer TV in the previous races. But on Sydney Harbour today we've got a very light southerly southeasterly breeze. I'm Peter Shipway, and joining me in commentary today Andrew Buckland and James Bury. And 2 races today. Their first race will be a 2-lapper. Starting in Taylor Bay and the windward mark up in deep into Rose Bay. But as I said, the sky's clear. There's a bit of a high wispy cloud, and to give you an overview of the weather and what he's expecting and what the water temperature is 100 miles offshore if you're swimming out there, here's Andrew Buckland.
Peter, I did go for a swim this morning. I didn't get quite out to the 100-mile mark, mate. Thanks, Peter. Sydney Harbour, nice and shiny. Nice little trough through overnight around 2 o'clock this morning, I believe. Wind south-southwest early, and things softening and rotating as the day goes on. So not too much gradient, and that's essentially what we've got is probably by now south-southwest gradient, I guess. With a tendency as the water warms up for it to get pretty porous down near the water level, and that's what we're seeing where we are on the camera cat at the start line. Wind speed down as low as 6 knots. Probably the peak we're expecting to see today might be some little bits of 12 to 14. You know, there's enough wind earlier today that some of the crews are contemplating small rig, but I think, except for a couple of boats, the fleet is on big rig. Yeah, and there's some substitute crews in the fleet today, and that kind of, and some of the lighter crews perhaps thinking it was going to get a little windy. And the model's not in fabulous agreement about necessarily what the wind will do today, but the most accurate for this sort of condition has tended to be the EC medium model, ECMW, and it, you know, it's really suggesting 12 knots, and we're a little below that from some localised land effects, you know, on the racetrack.
Okay, well, today's 2 races, as I mentioned earlier, heat 6 and 7 of the Australian Championship, are brought to you by Birkenhead Marina. And if you were watching last week, especially in the second race, race 5, it was a thrilling race. It was one of the best 18-footer races or sailing races you could wish for. 4 or 5 boats finished within about 30 seconds of each other. And at the moment, it's a very tight at the top of the point score, and James Bury will bring you in. Last week it was terrific. If we see a repeat today, well, it's going to be another thrilling day.
Yeah, Pete, thanks, mate. The quality of the fleet last week was exceptional, and as you said, that finish in that second race last week was something to see. And you know, the guys at the back of the boat did a fabulous job here for us with our camera going down. Portuguese, I think, finally rung out on Tuesday, and so did Phil. But yeah, the boys are, you know, it was a really tight race, and until that ferry came through the fleet, Pete, that sort of tightened everything up, and you know, it was a thrilling finish by all accounts.
Well, this is a 9-race series for the Australian Championship, and we'll have a pretty good idea. Well, not really, because it's so tight at the top between first and second. There's really third is a way back. So at the moment, after 5 races, as I say, 9 races, so a little bit early to read right into this, but at the moment Smeg is leading on 8 points, and he's been a model of consistency, 3 seconds and 2 firsts, and he leads by 1 point to Tech 2, the defending champion. They've had 3 wins, a second and a fourth, and they're on 9 points. And then there's a huge gap then on to third, equal third, Noakes sailing on or the Noakes sailing on 24 points, equal with Finport. Then in 5th place we have Andu on 32 points, equal 6th the father and son combination, Yandu John Winning Senior on 37, and Winning Appliances John Winning Junior on 37, equals 6th. 8th is Shaw in Partners, and then the rest can really write their own ticket. They're so far back, but at the moment it's as we've seen between Smeg and Tech 2, they've been a step above everyone else in this class, and I expect today that we probably might see a repeat of that, Andrew.
Yeah, we see signs of improvement from the likes of Shaw and Partners, but nobody's improved quite as snappily as Smeg after Coco shaken off his what we call them yacht legs from 2 years of not sailing a skiff too much. But the crews are steadily taking delivery of new sails and so on in anticipation of the Giltman in a couple of weeks and lining up. So lots of work going on in the fleet, and we could expect to see improvement perhaps from the likes of Noakes Sailing and but for example Winning Group today without Herman Winning or indeed Sevi Jarvin, who was injured sailing an Itchel on Friday night in half a gale. So there's some changes in the crew setups as well, which doesn't help consistency.
We're just watching with the red spinnaker Noakes Sailing come down towards us, towards the starting line in Taylor Bay. They've got a new suit of working sails on today. I was talking to Sean Langman in the park earlier, and he's very confident of these sails going to improve his performance even more. But if you were watching last week in race 5, you would have seen a very close incident between Tech 2 and Smeg on the second windward beat, and Tech 2 did put a protest in against Smeg. Tech 2 was on starboard, and Smeg was going across on port. Tech 2 claimed that they had to change course to avoid a collision. That protest was heard on Thursday evening, but it was dismissed, and there was no damage done. Smeg retained their position as the winner, and Tech 2 stayed in 4th place. So there's on camera now a lovely shot of Yandu with the famous red and blue oval just coming downwind. That's a new spinnaker for John Winning on his big rig. He's had that out a couple of weeks ago, so again he's on a new sail, and the breeze as we look upwind, there's not much of it. It's going to be very tricky, a big split in the course. If you can go one side of Shark Island or the other, I think that will certainly come into play, and we're about probably 6 or 7 minutes away from a start. Most of the fleet are out. They've gone testing up in towards Rose Bay, and they've railed running back under spinnaker. And in the distance, about going across behind Yandu is the red spinnaker of Tech 2.
Now, Pete, just back to that protest for a sec. I mean, it's quite surprised at the result of that. I don't think that in many protest rooms in the world that a port tacker ever wins that protest, under the modern interpretation. So I'm not sure what happened in the room, but perhaps Tech 2 didn't present enough outside evidence. They just used their onboard camera footage and thought that would be sufficient. But
well, the footage they did use is the drone footage.
Yep.
And that showed, well, that proved enough for Smeg to prove their case. So the drone was up and working at that stage, and that proved pretty solid evidence for Smeg too. But today's another day, and it's going to be, as I keep saying, tricky. And there's Tech 2 just jibing, coming back towards the starting line. A lovely day, a lot of pleasure craft out. That's going to come into play as always. The Manly ferries will come into play. But 18-footers on Sydney Harbour and Manly ferries, it's all part of the deal. All part of the deal. So, Andrew, what is the water temperature 100 miles offshore? Someone texted us in and wants to know.
27.
27. That's not a bad place to go for a swim.
No, that's right, exactly. And a little cooler. I did go for a swim this morning, like I said, a little cooler in at Curl Beach this morning, maybe 23. So there's a bit of gradient there.
Good. And while we're talking 18-footers, I believe, Andrew, you had a big victory yesterday in the Vintage 18s. You secured the Galloping Ghost Trophy.
Well,
And tell us a bit about that while we're waiting for the start of the modern boats. Oh, well, as I say that, there's 5 minutes to go. But
They
quickly,
must be
Andrew.
listening to us, Pete.
5 minutes. Well, for the viewers, we've been sailing this old snub-bowed Yendes, which was the recreation of the champion from 1930-31. And Harold Cudmore has been coming from the UK to steer each year, but we've recruited, in Harold's COVID-related absence, we've recruited Josh Probeski to steer, and he's been a marvel. And with a couple of other young fellas in the back and 3 old blokes, me, Admiral, and Russell Debney in the bow, average age the wrong side of 65. We've managed to get the job done.
Oh, well, congratulations.
And Pete, as you'd appreciate, it's not that easy a trophy to win. 3 races all to count, so one small error can ruin your regatta, but we had 2 wins in a second, and that was good enough.
Hard to beat that. So 4 minutes to go on race 6 of the Australian 18-foot skiff championship. And just a bit off camera, we've got a capsize.
Lazarus Capital Partners having an early bath.
Oh dear, they went into windward with a spinnaker up. That's a
Unusual.
good trick, but anyway, they'll hopefully, they're going to be struggling to make the start. There they are. That's not a good way to capsize, if any way is a good way to capsize.
Yeah.
And the breeze down now, it's well under 10 knots here at the starting area, very light. Looks a bit of breeze up towards Shark Island, both sides left and right of Shark Island. There's one boat going to struggle to get back here. I think is that Rag and Famish Way in the distance.
That would be correct. Anthony Young with Matt Pearce on the main sheet. Alex Goff in the bow, so Piercy, one of the senior citizens making a comeback. And that was one of the other, and another noted crewman on the bow of the Andu, Zach Barnabas. So the 2 generations of the Barnabas family in the race, and of course Trent ubiquitously present in the park.
Okay, we're just under 3 minutes to go. About 2:40 to go at the moment, and the Rag and Famish will get here, but he'll probably drop his spinning around the committee boat and start. The man they know, Jackie DeGonzo, the skipper. And what could possibly go wrong?
I can't think of anything, Pete. No. So just Pete, looking at the start line, it looks pretty much okay for this wind direction now.
And tide, Andrew, is flooding, is that right?
Just a weak flood, not a big amount of water going in, but enough to make a bit of a difference. Start line's a little on the shorter side, perhaps, considering that we've got 18 boats.
Okay, 2 minutes to go. And okay, I'll put you in the spot. Jimmy, which way up the beat? Which side of the island?
Well, 2 minutes ago I was thinking the right. Now I'm sort of half thinking the left. The breeze is swapping, but it's, I don't know. All right, I'll go solid. I'll stay right. How's that?
Andrew?
I was going to say, man who sit on fence gets splinters, in backside.
Come on, Andrew, quickly.
I think there's more wind on the right still.
Yeah,
Just think the angle's improving on the left, though, Bucko. Just so
well,
slightly.
you 2 blokes go right, I'll go left.
But I'm thinking that it's a game of find the wind, Pete, really, not about the angle. It's a game of find the wind. So,
okay, we're coming up to 1 minute, 1:10 to go.
1:10, yep.
Fleet starting to line up. Lazarus has righted himself well to windward of the line, and there's 1 minute. He'll struggle to get back. So it's a 2 lap up, 2 beats to windward, 2 spinnaker runs. The last spinnaker run to the finish, and we're lining up for Heat 6, Australian 18-foot Skiff Championship. Rag and Famish will probably just make it. He's just coming round near the spectator ferry. And we've got time to go is 30 seconds.
So the fleet quite well dispersed down the line, so they're thinking the line's pretty square to the breeze. And in that case, it's possible that the pin-in will be favoured. In fact,
Like a rag and famish. I told you to do that. He just dropped his spinnaker and came round the committee boat. He's a little early.
20 seconds, Pete. He's got plenty of time up his
Tech
sleeve.
2 right down at the pin,
Yep.
as is Shaw and partners.
10. They're going to be early,
Pedal's
Pete.
down. Pedal is down. Noakes Blue in the middle.
Oh,
no.
wow. My clock was wrong by a couple of seconds. Okay.
All good.
Yeah.
Clean start. Kitchen Maker at the windward end. Just punching out.
Yep.
Under him is Vintech.
So the first puff, Pete's come from the right. So clear wind to the guys that started at the boat.
And
Noakes.
down left of screen, Shaw and partner, which was the most closest to the pin. He's got to come back and he's taking all their sterns. So the right at the moment has certainly paid. And we're on the overhead shot there as those boats standing away on starboard tack. That's Yandu at bottom of screen.
Tech 2 and appliances online.
Tech 2 top left and appliances online in the middle of those three. But they're right down at the pin end. And at the moment in the middle of the line is Smeg looking very smart early on.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see here, but the breeze is freshening as they get to mid-channel. Probably where we are on the windward side of the fleet, about 10 knots now. Nice, comfortable, big sail. So Tech 2's crawled out of the leeward end quite neatly though, Pete. Bit of a drag race, them and Smeg.
Good speed, both Smeg and Tech 2 stamping their authority early in the race. There you can see Tech 2 in the distance, Smeg here that started midline. He's in a nice right-hander at the moment, Michael Coxon, Ricky Bridge and Trent Barnabas. Throwing down the gauntlet early to the fleet and especially Tech 2.
So that puff that supported the right-hand boats is just about to lift off. Smeg just still on the face of it for another minute perhaps. Looking pretty strong.
Royal Oak, Four Pines just behind Smeg as we look. Then Noakes sailing and then Noakes Blue just behind her.
Just enough wind there for Tech 2 just to be inverting a little bit of mainsail down to leeward of them. And a good heading puff, Pete, where we are. We should be on the other tack, mate, shouldn't we?
Yes, it's a nice little left-hander. Tech 2's really bow down in the distance. Smeg's still up. Tech 2's run out of puff. I think he'll tack.
Yeah.
But he's very soft down there. He's massive header.
Yeah. So you have to stay in the funnel. And we see here Smeg having to ease a bit of jib sheet. So a bit of 12 knots there for a sec. Very bumpy water where we are with them.
Michael Coxon just at the helm of Smeg looking around at the boats that have gone to the right, but he's standing in towards Steel Point, Nielsen Park. Incoming tide will give him some help as he goes round the bow of a cruising punter. He's got the shock of his life.
Breeze is up here.
It's a good little funnel around Steel Point here.
Yep.
So it looks like Smeg's going to go most of the way in.
Yeah, good pressure all the way to the rock here, I think, Pete.
Quite a lot of bumpy water he's coming into with a lot of power boats and ferries. But at the moment, Smeg 2 just tacking now.
So he's a good 50 metres in front of Tech 2. Royal Oak the furthest coming to the right here.
There's the Royal Oak Four Pines.
So Smeg leads pretty comfortably, Pete. Probably Noakes Blue in second. How about that?
Yes, he went right early and he looks pretty good down there. He's well, still on port tack. Finport's right in the mix as well, but it will be Smeg that will lead the fleet, I think. Noakes Blue just tacking, and just see him in the distance coming into shot shortly. There's Noakes Blue.
Jimmy.
Just going behind in screen, Smeg. There's not going to be much in it. He's done quite well, as has Finport. Those two boats went to the right early on. Finport with the black insignia running vertically down his mainsail with a white leech.
Royal Oak.
Yeah,
Just to the right of screen.
Breeze just turned left for us here.
There's the Royal Oak.
The Royal Oak has done very well also. He went left.
Doug hardest left.
And he was one of the last attack, if not the last attack, from coming off the line on starboard. He's in a nice pressure. So no one's gone to the right of the island.
Well, both me and Bucko are out of that bet.
Yeah, so
you won it hands down.
I'm leading at the moment.
Perfect.
Easily too, Pete.
So Smeg coming up with a cross with Noakes Blue. We can't see them. They're off screen at the moment. There they are. So Smeg on port, Noakes Blue on starboard.
Yeah.
Smeg tacking.
Wow, that's pretty interesting, isn't it, Pete?
That was interesting.
Coco might have a rethink of that one.
Tell you what's going to be interesting is where the top mark is and where the barge is up in Rose Bay.
Oh, there's a bit of yelling and screaming
Plenty going
here.
on here.
Royal Oak just squeezed across Noakes Blue. Couldn't squeeze across Smeg. He took his stern, but he's right in the picture, Royal Oak. So it'd be Noakes Blue lead narrowly from Smeg. Tech 2 is way back. He'd be back at about 8th, 9th, even 10th position.
Yeah, I mean, Smeg did a pretty good job up that beat, I think, Pete.
So we're halfway up the beat going into Rose Bay. Remember, it's a 2-lap course, 2 beats to windward and 2 spinnaker runs. The last spinnaker run will take them to the finish. But at the moment, Smeg, Noakes Blue in a bit of trouble. He's gone into windward. Stay on here. He's going to get out of it, but looks messy at the moment for him. Very wobbly. One crew way out to windward, one way out to leeward. They will get going, but that's a big loss.
Big loss.
And then behind them, Finport coming off a screamer on the left, going basically paralleling the shore, and behind him Tech 2 in a nice left-hander. So it's very shifty, as we alluded to early on. Smeg will cross Royal Oak easily. Behind him, Noakes sailing, going into Shark Island. Those two boats both on port. Lovely day now on the harbour, not much breeze, and a reasonably good runway up to the weather mark. And there's some massive shifts out here. We've got Tech 2's come back into this. He's got a real good left-hander, but he's still well back. He's coming across Rag and Famish on the right of screen. Vintech will go in front of him, and then behind him on the left of screen is Andu, Marcus Ashley Jones, who's not out of this at this stage. But Rag and Famish going into Shark Island. And the other boat that we'll come to shortly that's showing good speed with his new suit of sails is Noakes Sailing. Sean Langman and the boys. So the weather mark is a fair way up into Rose Bay.
So I'm saying it's going to be interesting with the big barge or whatever they call it, the plantation or whatever. It's right in the way.
So that's Yandu. And very light up here, Andrew. There's a lot of soft spots. There's a few puffs drifting down the race course, but
big puff down the middle right now, Pete.
There'll be a few bent knees coming up here, but Smeg went hard right, and he's going to be struggling to cross the Royal Oak.
No, the left side's paid up the second half of this beat, Peter.
It has. Royal Oak.
I told her that before the start, didn't I? Sort of.
Yes, Smeg's lost out big time. He was clearly ahead of Royal Oak, and at the moment he's gone behind him by about 4 or 5 boat lengths.
Yeah.
And And just to the left of Smeg is Vintech. He's done well. The winning group, remembering there's a different crew aboard the winning group today.
Yeah, and for the viewers, instead, as we noted, Mika Lane on the stick and James Doran on the main sheet, Pete Harris in the bow, a whole new lineup. Wow, the 4 Pines have done well, haven't they?
They are motoring.
Absolutely. The Royal Pine will lead.
And he's got the benefit of this pretty big area of quite good pressure. Smeg's on a good one up the middle though. 4 Pines on the ley line surely.
So we're watching the race lead up. The Oak Double Bay 4 Pines, Aaron Everett, Courtney Maher and Charlie Gundy, the crew. They've picked it pretty well this beat.
Mark to the left of us.
The first lap of race 6, first race today, race 6 of the Australian Championship.
Noakes Group coming in overstood here, Pete, almost. He just eased his jib. He just pulled it back on again though. He's changed his mind.
So Royal Oak will lead.
Pretty handy lead too, 5 boat lengths or thereabouts.
Right at the mark, Bill. Right here.
He is around now. Yeah, he's a good lead, 15, 20 seconds. Smeg will be second.
Oh, and a jibe set. Wow.
Oh, gutsy.
Very good.
Oh.
Here comes Smeg. He'll come into shot shortly. The lead, what, about 15, 18 seconds? There's Smeg now.
Close
Nice.
enough to 20, Pete.
And Noakes Sailing done a good job again. He's
Yep.
been consistently up there.
Yeah.
He will
And-
be third.
But winning group done a pretty good job of crawling out of the pack too, mate.
As has Yandu. He's fifth. Little gap then to Andu, Marcus Ashley Jones. Appliances online. Hasn't figured much in the last few weeks, but there he's going round. Then Noakes Blue, Vintech, Finport, and where is Tech 2? He's way
Check
back.
It's way deep.
Way back.
No,
So
Probably
Finport jibe setting. The others besides the leader of running away, bear
Tech 2
away
in
set.
13th place at the moment, Pete.
Yeah. Rag and Famish. Birkenhead Point Marina, who's today's race sponsor. Then Shore and Partners, and then Tech 2.
So
Well, that's a surprise.
That's the worst first beat we've seen from Tech 2 in about 2 years. Oh well. And Shaw and Partners
They're 14th, Tech 2.
struggling around with a little rig in, Pete.
So they've got a bit to do. Yeah,
be-
that would be hurting a little rig today.
Yep.
You go down with this lot.
But we're racing down wind with the fleet. This is the second of 4 laps. Royal Oak led at the mark. Smeg was second. Noakes Sailing third. Winning Group fourth. Yandu fifth. And Andu sixth. That was the order at the weather mark the first time. Two leaders have cleared out somewhat. The Royal Oak and Smeg. They've got a clear gap back to Noakes Sailing. They'd lead the next peloton, if you like, by about 20 seconds. Majority of the fleet have run into the Nielsen Park shore. Jibe are now running back on port.
And Noakes look to have a reasonable grip on third at this stage.
That's Noakes Sailing we're on with the red spinnaker. In the distance, the 2 white spinnakers, top left of screen, the Royal Oak 4 Pine and Smeg. They're about halfway down the first spinnaker run and 2 more laps after this.
Tell you who came out of that all right. They jibed at the top mark to set, Pete, was Finport, who probably got himself close up into 4th place here. Is that where they were a bit deeper than that, weren't they?
Yes, they were. They were deep. They were 10th at the weather mark the first time. In the distance, There's
some spectator boats stretching their luck a bit here, Pete.
Smeg has got the hammer down, chasing the Royal Oaks. 4 Pine. As they're approaching the bottom gate, and the race halfway over, 2 races today. Smeg, the point score leader, going into the 6th heat of the Australian Championship. And the main opposition, Tech 2, the defending champion, was way back, buried in 14th place at the Weathermark the first time. Well, the Royal Oak's done a good job of defending his lead down here.
But Smeg has closed up there, you think, guys?
Yeah, they've closed up a bit. But Pete, have a look behind your right shoulder. Noakes on a huge header, about 200 yards behind these guys, and they look like they might have closed the gap by about half also.
Yes, as we're watching, they certainly have Smeg jibing, Royal Oak 4 Pine jibing, good jibe by Smeg, and Noakes sailing come right in. You'll see him come into screen on port jibe shortly. He won't cross Smeg, but he'll be a lot closer than he was. There he is now. Smeg on a nice little header. So there's a gate here, they can choose the right or the left buoy.
You'd be going the right one looking at it, wouldn't you, boys? It's a lot further up.
Certainly looks that way. Jimmy at the moment would be going for the right-hand one.
About 6 boat lengths more sailing to go to the left one.
Yeah, that's not really a gate, is it?
Smeg will really close up here. There's the Royal Oak Smeg. He's going to jibe and...
Yeah, Smeg's got a bit of awkward handling to do here, Pete. Even you would struggle with this, you know.
They go to the left.
Jibe,
they're going to jibe again.
Yeah.
Jibe drop. So there's the margin. You can see those two. He's probably closed up a little, but it's still in control. The Royal Oak 4 Pine. Smeg around now. Spinnaker just coming down now. But it was a complicated manoeuvre. He did it pretty well. Then roaring in is Noakes sailing.
So Noakes has got up to being in touch with these blokes with a pretty good downwind run. Shoot not coming down too well for Josh. What's going on there?
Did you show him how to do the bow yesterday, did you, Bucko?
No, well, he insisted he knew nothing about the bow, Mr. Prevesky, but we just watched him get the shoot off all right there, so I think he does know something about it.
Those 3 have really opened away now from the rest of the fleet. We're looking back and it'll be Andu, I think, will probably be
Finport
4th.
just here to the left.
Oh, Finport's come in from the right-hand side.
Yep, on the right end, yep.
He's got a big header they didn't need.
He's got a bit on.
Oh, my God.
Andu come in on starboard, but Finport...
High pressure drop on the Finport,
It
Pete.
is
Are you
indeed.
good for it,
What
mate?
could
I'm ready,
possibly
I'm
go
ready.
wrong?
No worries, he said. Pretty good.
Finport 4th. He's made big inroads up down that Spinnaker run.
If they can just get the jib on, they'll get rolling, they'll be right.
They've got a tangle-mangle there. Spinnaker not down, flowing out to leeward. It's in the middle of the boat. Andu goes round clean. Or sort of.
Sort of clean.
Sort of.
Forgot to count the keel.
Then, yeah, the Andu next. All coming to this right-hand mark looking downwind. Noakes, Appliances Online a bit to do.
The only one to go to the other mark so far is Winning Group.
Winning
Nick
Group.
Lane.
He's around the Winning Group on the other mark. Then Vintech. Rag and Famish. Just get the Spinnaker down. Should be clean at this mark. And then after him will be a Tech 2. So he's improved somewhat.
So that's still a discard for him, Pete.
Yes, he's up to 11th place. He's going to find it very difficult to get into the top three now from here, but
He can see fifth, but he'd be doing really well to get up there.
just watching Birkenhead Point Marina next around, followed by Noakes Blue.
So
That was just short of 20 minutes for that one lap. So
yeah.
Shaw and Partners will be next, followed by Ilvi,
the Kitchen Maker and then Lazarus Group.
and that will round it out. Quite light again here at this leeward gate, back in the starting area, and all the fleet, none of them going right, they're all going left. They've come round, they've all gone on starboard tack, heading right in towards Steel Point. As the last couple come round, Kitchen Maker will be the final boat to go round. So we're off chasing the leaders, which is Royal Oak, Four Pines and Smeg, and Noakes Sailing. That was the order at the leeward gate the first time. So we're a third of the way up, the third lap, which is the second windward leg, and the fleet standing away on starboard. Just seen the first boat bail out, which is Rag and Famish. It was in the gas of Vintech, and that's Tech 2, which is nice and high on the fleet.
So Tech 2 making a fist of this though, Pete. They've obviously got their rig set up pretty close to perfect because they've made big yards in the first quarter mile of the beat.
They came around that mark really clean compared to everyone else.
Yep.
They came around with two, Bucko,
Yep.
and that obviously
Yep.
makes a huge difference to, you know, how quickly you can get playing with your gears and get out of there.
Yep. He's got her in the high flow mode, but he's certainly gauging up to the guys in front.
And off in the distance, we just get Piers to pan out a sec. But, yep, the Royal Oak still in the lead.
Well, what I think we're going to see is another good finish. There's three boats vying for the lead. Noakes Sailing is in third, but the Royal Pine, the Oak Double Bay, Four Pines, he's in the lead at the moment. Smeg is snapping at his heels. And there's the race leader.
Go down here so they're coming at us with the kite.
So, pretty good look at the Tech 2 there, boys and girls. Nice.
They've got good height, haven't they? They're in high mode. Chasing fourth spot. That's probably the best they'll do. But there's still a lot of work to get up into fourth spot. We've seen a big split in the leaders again. We've seen Noakes Sailing and Smeg go left hard into the Nielsen Park shore, and the Royal, the Oak Double Bay Four Pines gone hard right into Shark Island.
But Pete, the wind completely different on this beat than the first beat.
Yes.
Quite surprisingly further right on the shore here.
So we're halfway up the first beat, and a second beat, I'm sorry. We'll see the fleet leaders come together shortly. And the boat that's done very well is Noakes Sailing.
Absolutely.
He must be fast through the water, Pete.
They are flying.
Yep.
New sails. One of the real veterans in Sean Langman. Oh, just take a little bit of a lee from the cruising boat that kindly went right to windward of them. And you'll see in a moment the Royal Oak crossing ahead of Smeg, and we'll cross ahead of Noakes. He'll come into vision shortly. There he is. There's the race leader. Noakes bailing out.
And
I think they were hurting a little bit going back with
but
Smeg.
look how far right that one is, Pete.
That's a beauty. Absolute ripper.
And it looks like there's less wind on the Shark Island side, Pete, to me. So Royal Oak got a bit bogged down there earlier. Noakes here sailing on the face of a puff. That puff has now dissipated, downwind past them. Find the wind. Where's the wind, Pete? Looking up window, another good puff coming almost directly down from the weather mark. Looks pretty even to me.
Sean Langman and Ed Powers and Josh Praveski have gone looking for the left-hand shift. Will they get it? See a few puffs there. It doesn't look anything great at the moment, but it's got to join the dots here, Andrew. It's hard, isn't it?
Yeah, nothing easy about this racecourse in this sort of condition. Noakes still going left and Royal Oak still going right.
Really big split.
Opposite sides of the track.
Royal Oak, for those that know Sydney Harbour, is right at the totem pole of Shark Island. Smeg's in there as well behind the Oak. But Noakes has gone hard to the left-hand Vaucluse shore. There's the Oakies still going. Nicely ahead of Smeg, no doubt about that. He's almost going up to a starboard tack ley line here. Just tacking now.
And Noakes will cross Smeg too.
There's the race leader approaching the weather mark for the final time in Heat 6 of the Australian 18-foot Skiff Championship. Oh, there's a unfriendly spectator boat just slammed into reverse there.
Lisa Blake was nice about it.
Yeah, I think he realised it right at the last moment what was coming up. But Royal Oak not going back on a great one.
No, breeze bent left for the next bit of cloud up here, Pete, I think. But if we look out to the left, you'll see Noakes Group clearly in front of Smeg by a couple of boat lengths.
And the Royal Oak is well ahead of Noakes, so it's going to be a nice lead if he joins the dots here and plays it cool. Royal Oak will lead quite comfortably at the weather mark. What's the manoeuvre? There's a lot of pleasure craft on the
white boat people having lunch, mate.
If they just round the mark and run away on a starboard, they're right on the direct course of that. The 18s that'll bear away on starboard, so an early jibe could come into play here.
Yeah, I think Doug will probably have to come up here and maybe rejig where he's got the top mark, boys.
There's pleasure craft everywhere on a really nice summer's afternoon. It's not super hot, but there's a lot of people out enjoying the summer sunshine as we're watching the Royal Oak approach the mark.
Can we get the Smeg?
And Smeg, if we can't see him at the moment, he's gone back on a couple of horrors and he's dropped way back. He's still third.
And he's got chicken winged up with a spectator boat here
with
as
the
well.
Hamptons.
Well, to some degree.
He's got some pleasure craft he had to duck. But meanwhile, the Royal Oak 4 Pines rounds the mark, and what's the manoeuvre? Is it a jibe? No, it's not a jibe.
He might jibe. He's
windward set.
Windward set.
He will lead comfortably. I think he'll jibe very quickly once he gets set, because right in his track is a pleasure craft, which you'll see just to the right of him at the moment.
At anchor, the pleasure craft, we should add.
Very handy. Okay, Noakes sailing second.
Odd.
Fine job by those boys.
This will be a tight one between, I think, Noakes and Smeg. Smeg seem to have a bit of downwind speed about him. Might go down with these guys. You want to do that?
I think so. Here's the boat race, eh?
Yeah, I think
this is
the
where
boat race.
First, second and third will play out here.
And Finport will be in fourth.
Noakes, Smeg third round, and then a long gap to Finport.
And
Andu and
Tech
Tech 2 has come into it. So he'll be fifth or sixth, Tech 2. So not a bad recovery.
Smeg going to have a real good look at the Hamptons.
Smeg
doing the down speed, spinning a flap jibe to avoid the spectator traffic. Got themselves lined up with the other spectator boat as well now. Wow.
Wow, that was a hard one.
And then couldn't be worse positioned, this idiot in this pleasure craft.
The Hamptons, Pete.
An idiot being kind to him. So Smeg had to bail out quickly. And I think looking downwind at the leader, the Royal Oak, he's extended his lead. He's away on port jibe, probably halfway down the last run, the final run, and the run to the finish in Heat 6. Noakes clearly in second, Smeg solidly in third. And
I think that little incident there with the that pleasure boat has, you know, I think that really ruined Smeg's chance there of throwing anything at Noakes.
That's Noakes on camera. Noakes on camera at the moment, running into the Steel Point shore. He's taking a nice little header there, but he's got a jibe. He'll jibe shortly. The crew are coming in. There he goes. He's left that jibe very late, so he's bow up at the moment, just hoping for a nice shift to get the bow down in. If he gets the bow down, he'll be on the lay line to the finish. But he's halfway down the run, the final run. A little bit of pressure rolling now, a bit of cloud building down to the south, Andrew.
Yeah, no, I did mention a bit of new cloud, which we'll see a little bit of a build.
Great shot of Noakes sailing.
And pretty hard for Smeg to do much here. Just in line.
Fully wicked up, Noakes. It's in a nice little header. Away to his left is Royal Oak, 4 Pines. He's certainly got a jibe to come into the finishing line, way in the distance. So Noakes trying to get the bow down. He's still in a good heading puff. And then tailing him coming into the screen at full noise will be Smeg, throwing a bit of spinnaker at it. They're below the lay line.
Yeah, I think Noakes is going to have to drop, Pete, to get there, so I think both these boats are going to struggle here. But very, you know, unless Noakes muffs their drop, well, Noakes might lay.
This is still going to be a good finish.
Absolutely.
The leader is down in pressure. He doesn't want that. He wants to be up. He's no, I think the Royal Pine will do it. He's got a nice header and he's going to have only a short one back on starboard. But
I'll tell you what, Noakes might win this.
Yeah, he could easily, actually. He's done a fine job at perfect lay line. Bow up, Smeg, full noise in a really good gust. Noakes with a red spinnaker. There he is, that panning round. There's the race leader. He will get there, I think. Not going to be much in it.
Yeah. No, the 4 Pines going to get.
Royal Oak, 4 Pines will win it. Great, another great race. And what a great race by those boys. Deserved winner today, Royal Oak first. Noakes sailing, another fine performance by Sean Langman, second. And the ever-consistent Smeg, Michael Coxon, third. They have really scooted away from the rest of the fleet. Noakes now, really good lay line, those last two boats picked. But the Royal Oak held his nerve. So he wins, Noakes second, Smeg third.
Well, boys, that's the best race they've seen from Noakes all year, so that augurs well, doesn't it?
Well, certainly good, and certainly the best race from the Royal Oak.
Yeah, and Smeg will be feeling a bit bad about all that. They didn't do enough planning about where the spectator boats were, and they cost themselves a good bit of time. First of all, on the beat, they had to duck behind a moored boat, and then they got stuck and had to do 2 quick jibes between 2 of the moored pleasure boats.
Finport coming across in fourth.
Done a good job to get fourth.
And a very good recovery from Tech 2. He will be fifth.
Well done, Bucko. Picked that at the last bottom mark.
Well, they came out of there so well, didn't they?
They came out of there unbelievably.
Yep.
Yeah, as Jimmy said, clean at the leeward gate and then held their height so well. So they'll be coming across. There's Tech 2 now in 5th spot. 6th will be Andu, Marcus Ashley Jones. And then Appliances Online will be 7th by the look of it. There's Andu.
You can't split Yandu and the winning group again. Pete.
No. So it's not father and son today. So
No.
Johnny Winning Senior can do a bit of yelling if he likes. Won't be abusing his son. But it's Appliances Online 7th.
Big difference in those spinnaker shapes, Bucko.
And who's going to get 8th? Will it be Yandu or Winning?
A couple of new shirts.
Yandu.
Yandu.
Yandu will just pip the winning group. There's Shaw and Partners on a small rig.
So they'll be praying for more brown clouds, Pete. Second race, but breeze just up a little, up to perhaps 12 knots.
So Shaw and Partners Red Spinnaker got a jibe to come in. Noakes Blue powering down on Port. They will be behind Shaw and Partners. Shaw and Partners 10. Noakes Blue 11. Vintech will be 12th. Bit of good breeze here now, Andrew. The breeze up 10 or 12 knots.
12, maybe just
Clouds
a little
bringing,
more, maybe 14
a bit of
here.
breeze. 13th, so 12th Vintech. Rag and Famish 13. 14th will be Birkenhead Marina.
And then round to your left, just there, Kitchen Maker coming in hot.
White Spinnaker, yeah. Kitchen Maker.
And
And the last one is Lazarus Capital.
and then he'll be behind them,
And
Pete.
he'll be the last one, is he? Ilvy.
Yeah, he's off Steel Point, mate.
Thank you, Jimmy. So let's recap. Another terrific race and another, well, not another winner. Well, it is another winner. For the first time, a winner other than Smeg and Tech 2. The Oak, Double Bay, Four Pines, Aaron Everett. He was the winner today. Held his nerve very well. Controlled the race, especially the second half. He was first. Noakes Sailing, a very good second place. Smeg third. Finport fourth. Tech 2 fifth. Andu sixth. Appliances Online 7. Yandu 8th. 9th winning group. 10th Shaw and Partners. 11 Noakes Blue. 12 Vintech. 13 Rag and Famish. 14th Birkenhead. 15 The Kitchen Maker. 16 Lazarus and Partners, and to round it out, 17th Ilvy. So another race to come today, the 7th heat of the Australian Championship, and we've got another two-lapper, and we've got a little bit of cloud building, Andrew, and the breeze up.
Yeah, just a little pool of cold air, Pete, and a couple of the models hinted at this, but it's got no, I don't think it's got any great amount of punch in it. Still big jib weather, isn't it?
He'll be hanging on trying to make that finish mark, aren't they?
Yeah, he'll make it screaming in.
But still, it'd be good for the crews here. Test for the other end of the rig range, really.
So what do we read out of that race? We saw Smeg again consistent, but as you said, you probably thought he might have done a little bit better when he had the lead at some stage.
Yeah, the breeze pretty dynamic though, Pete, and easy to say sitting on the camera cat, isn't it?
Yes.
You know? But yeah, I mean, Sydney Harbour, as ever, mate, there are races determined by people planning better or worse versus ferries, spectator boats and moored boats. And those boats up there are all moored, so there's probably, it's not particularly dynamic. There's static targets, and just have to have better awareness and a bit more planning, I think. But for Smeg to be having all the course, and give back ground on 2 occasions, separated not by 2 minutes, I think it's quite extraordinary, really. And they're not small anchored boats, are they? The barge, the converted tugboat thing is large, and the barge is quite large and square. So they deserve attention.
Well, we're just waiting for the start of the second race today, which will be the 7th heat, and just reminding you that it's a 9-heat series for this Australian Championship. We've got a single race next week and the week after. That will round it out at 9. You can drop your worst performance. And the breeze is up again, a bit more cloud building, and we're still waiting for starting signals. So this telecast is brought to you by Sail Media, production for the Australian 18-foot skiff league, sponsored by the Winning Group. I'm Peter Shipway, and my commentators today, James Bury and Andrew Buckland. And do you see much different in this race, Andrew? I guess the breeze up, that's about a big difference, isn't it? It's tide still.
Yeah, but you see how volatile it is. Like a minute ago we're in 14, and now where we are adjacent to the committee boat, we've probably got a spot here which is about 8 to 10 knots right now. But it'll be a different complexion. Looks like the breeze is going to stay steady in direction. If I look upwind, I'd say probably a little bit more coming through the course of the first beat. And no predictions available for the second beat, Jimmy. That'd be too rash, wouldn't it?
We'll wait till we get down the bottom, and you can do your who's going to be the bolter from the bottom, and
so
which way.
Again, just waiting starting signals. Right or left of the island, looking upwind, boys?
Left.
Yeah,
more wind this time, Pete. Not quite such the emphasis on find the.
Well, I'm 1 up, so I'll stick with you. I can't lose then if I go left.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
That's the way. And they maybe just hold. Oh no, there's a ferry inbound down off George's Head. He should be clear by, even if they start signals now. So no drama. And as I speak, 5 minutes for the second race today. So we say hello to a lot of our friends around the world. I know we've got friends watching in England and America,
Germany,
Thailand. I heard from last week, and even New Zealand. Guess who was watching in New Zealand?
Oh, that'd be PJM, wouldn't it?
No, well, he was watching, the great Pete Montgomery, but even greater, a bloke that's won a few 18-foot races, Ian Murray.
IGM.
He sent us his regards and gave us a few tips how to improve the commentary, so I didn't take any of them, but I listened when he'd one ear and out the other. But if you're listening, big fella, we say hello and good luck next week with the Prada Cup. What a thrilling series that's going to be between the Italians and the British, and then leading into the America's Cup itself on March 6th, 36th America's Cup, and Ian Murray, of course, the race director for all those races. So a stellar record in 18-footers, and now into the race directorship. There's 4 minutes to go in this second race today. The ferry, we can see in the distance, he will be clear ahead. So we've got 3 minutes 45 to go.
Yeah, the line, the breeze, just gone back to the right enough that the line's pretty square again. And Peter, it might just be to some degree that if you just plug away towards Nilo with the tide on the lee bow, it's a nice simple solution, isn't it? Get a clear lane.
Yes.
And don't do too many tacks. Well,
it seemed to be the majority of them the first race, Bucko, just unless you were really getting affected by the boat in front of you.
Yeah.
You just pinned the ears back and went as far as you could into that still point.
With a little bit more pressure, the pointing angle closes up a bit as well. So expect I get pretty close to laying up the steel point from the committee boat end at least.
Yeah, the breeze looking reasonably solid, 10 to 12 looking upwind here at the starting line. We've got 2 minutes 45 to go.
Same course axis.
Yeah, no,
same course length.
There's no need for them to change anything. So the committee's done a good job, haven't they, in saving time and effort and energy by getting it right. A little bit of 14 up in front of us now, Pete.
a 2-lapper.
Better get the jib car back a bit, mate.
Right, I'll move it now.
Now, here you go.
And
Get the number 2 up on deck. Well, that plays into Shore Partners a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah,
With them on, they're on their little rig, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And 14's the crossover. But
Yeah.
I'm not sure this 14 knot puff's going to last very long.
No.
It's going to be 14 and below, not 14 and above, I think, and it's
Yeah.
probably going to be more below.
Yeah, no,
at
you're
times.
right. You're right.
And the breeze is reasonably solid. And we've got 1 minute 55 to go.
And the fleet probably going to be, because there is a bit more wind, a bit more conservative. 4 Pines doing some late exploration and be coming back to the line inside 2 minutes. But I don't know, Pete, the modern way is not the way we were taught, is it, mate?
No.
Happy to be on the wrong side.
But you've got to get modern. I'm a modern man, Andrew, you know that.
Yeah, modern. Modern in which respect, Pete?
Every respect you want. So,
Modern in respect to the 20th century, I think.
so the beat is 1.4 metres, or the leg is 1.4 miles long, and the course is up into Rose Bay. For those that know the harbour, we're down in Taylor Bay, which is just around to the east of, or northeast of Bradley's Head. And
Smeg, pretty dangerous approach. In from the
okay,
windward
there's a minute
side.
to go. And Smeg, middle of the line, Tech 2 above him.
Crowded, Pete. They're pretty packed together, aren't they?
They are in the middle.
Royal Oak nearer to the boat. Tech 2 in the second row and overlapped a bit, so he's in a bit of trouble, I'd say.
35 seconds.
No, he's got out of there just.
Most lured boat is the Winning Group and Lazarus. Oh no, there's someone, Kitchen Maker's going for the pin end at 100 mile an hour. He's way down at the pin, or not way down, he's going for the pin. Middle line Smeg and Andu. Noakes sailing up towards the committee boat. 10 seconds. 8, 7, 6, 5, 3, 2, 1. Gun, hooter, all clear, I think.
Oh, Yandu very close, Pete. Good right-hander, though. The guys at the boat are...
Clear start.
All clear. All clear from the race committee, so that's a good sign. No one's penalised.
Breeze just turned right enough to get the blokes at the windward end.
And a ripper start to
in front.
Vintech and Yandu at the windward end.
Yep.
But we're on the leeward end at the moment. There's the windward end now. You can see Vintech and Yandu trying to come round his bow, doing a good job there. John Winning. Smeg middle of the line, a little advanced, it looks okay. Rag and Famish bailing out. Not a great tack from Jack Young. Where's he going, Jack? He's going back. Oh, he's doing a penalty turn, I think. Rag and Famish did a penalty turn.
Tough way to start the outrace.
The Royal Oak in big trouble behind Yandu. He's almost capsized to windward. Jib seemed to get cleated on to windward. Saved a capsize. He was the race winner today, but we're on the majority of the fleet as they're powering away on starboard tack. Smeg looks good. Shore and Partners on his little rig up to windward. Looks okay. Tech 2's throwing a bit of mainsail at it. Good breeze here, 14 plus. Kitchen Maker and the Birkenhead Marina, the boats that started closest to the pin, are going hard down to into Nielsen. But I think Smeg looks pretty tidy, as does Tech 2, Andrew.
Yeah, I think the cream has risen to the top again, Pete.
Good breeze here.
Yep. So pretty much upper range now for the big sail.
This is the first of 4 laps. 2 windward legs, 2 leeward legs. Second race today, remembering the Royal Oak 4 Pine won the earlier race from Noakes Sailing and Smeg. We're on the Kitchen Maker here, and just behind him is the Winning Group. very good overhead shot. And that's Smeg leading it, as you can see, just close to Tech 2, and Shaw and Partners coming into their own with a little rig on. Cruising boat getting a bit of a hurry up. This is just with a jib on, just trying to mix it up in the middle of the fleet. Another bloke with the brains of a kumquat, trying to mix it up right in the middle. Couldn't have done a better job if he tried.
Beautiful day for it.
So right into Steel Point they come, and I think it'll be Smeg still on starboard tack, but when he tacks he will cross the fleet.
Well, he's obeyed the rules, Pete.
Yes, winning group has just tacked right of screen.
Got out of the windward end and kept going.
Good pressure rolling out of Rose Bay at the moment. Shaw and Partners bailed out. Winning group bailed out. Tech 2 has bailed out, and I think Smeg will bail out shortly. Yeah, there he goes. So Smeg 2, Michael Coxon will lead. Andu, who's gone hard right, will not cross. Shaw and Partners showing good speed with his little rig on. And good pressure, a lot of white caps as we look up towards the windward mark now. This breeze 14 knots plus, probably about 15, Andrew.
No, I think you're being fooled a bit there, Pete, by powerboat wash, mate.
No, come on,
Time
come
to go
on.
home wash.
Come on, talk me up, Andrew, talk me up. Give me 15.
14.8.
Okay, right, I'll take that.
Okay.
Rather hazy Sydney skyline in the background. As the fleet
Anyway,
going into
Pete, the boys on
Shark
Tech-
Island.
The boys on Tech 2 be happy they got out of the blocks okay and they're in the hunt, yeah?
Yes, they
By
will.
this stage of the first race, they were in no chance
No,
of
they
winning.
were deep and buried.
Yeah.
But it's the boat with a small rig on that's doing well. Shaw and Partners, that's him second from the left. He's hanging right in there. So they're the three leaders. Smeg left, Shaw and Partners, and Tech 2. Shaw and Partners will have all the rights as he comes off the island on starboard tack. He's holding good height. And the little rig paying off. There's him. Shaw and Partners tacking now. Smeg will cross. Shaw and Partners will cross Tech 2. It's going to be tight on Smeg again. No,
It's very close, Pete.
Smeg is a cross.
Very close.
I'll call that a cross. Yeah, that's a good cross.
That's a clear one, unlike
Yeah, no
no
problem
argument
there.
this week.
No, that's good.
Ooh. This is going to be a prize fight here, Pete, this next lap, I reckon. Breeze up range.
Really good puffers.
Tech
Smeg
2.
Tacks, not the greatest tack.
Yeah.
Okay, settling down now. They're on the gas of Tech 2. Breeze down a little, and in the distance you can see with a white insignia just coming round the bow of Tech 2 is Andu. He's gone hard left. He's done pretty well up there, Marcus Ashley Jones. There's pleasure craft all around this windward mark.
Shaw and Partners
Well, Shaw and
ducking
Partners,
Tech 2.
Yep, duck Tech 2, and he'll be behind Smeg. Now another good race, Andrew.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And this is a championship fight, I reckon. Tech 2 and Smeg. Where the odds are probably, I mean, Tech 2's had better form and very confident about their rig settings, those boys, yeah?
Well, it's, looking at it at the moment, it's Andu that leads, I would think, narrowly. Shaw and Partners here with a small rig, don't forget. He's going out in a little choppy water, big speedboat.
Yeah, it's sort of
It's
low,
just
low range.
Gone across his bow.
Little rig.
Chop the water up a little. Smeg 2 and Smeg and Tech 2 on screen now. They've been the two pace setters for this championship. And they're having another good battle, really close battle. Nothing between those two. Probably at the moment you'd have to say Tech 2 has the rights because he'll come back with starboard advantage. But right up to windward is Andu. Just going behind another pleasure craft, but we're on Shaw and Partners. They're going out, probably trying to pick a starboard ley line. There's Andu and Yandu with Finport in the background. They're in a nice left-hand pressure and shift there.
Back into a bit of a header now, Pete.
Nice breeze, so it's going to be one of those pleasure craft have moved, that floating barge.
The Hamptons has moved forward.
There's Andu. Oh, here's a really good battle up on the starboard tack ley line. There's Andu tacking. If he lays, he'll lead. Not a great tack. Come on, boys, swing it down. Swing it down. Ugh. He's clear. Is he laying? Yes, he's laying. They're all laying. Andu will lead. It's a tight lay, and the rest are rocketing in. Just slightly sprung, but Andu leads. Andu, Smeg, Shaw and Partners. Tech 2. Andu in a good gust. Smeg around.
Who's out in the water in front? Syntec? In front of them?
There's a boat
Just
capsized in the distance. Vintech. He's belly down. He's not going to figure in the results. A good set from Smeg. Not a great set from Andu. They're still trying to get the spinnaker up. Just gets up now, but it's Smeg. What a great race. Yandu next. Andu in a lot of trouble. Noak sailing is around. Jibe setting. Gutsy.
Wow.
Gutsy.
Finport.
And the big loser out of that has been Andu. They did do a very good set. They got a bit chicken winged up. They're now trying to back to fourth place. Smeg leads as the winning group goes round behind Finport. Yandu's done well. Noak sailing was
Royal
well
Oak,
positioned.
Royal Oak just off screen to the left of just capsized.
Oh, the first race winner, the Royal Oak, his day is over. He's in this, has capsized. Birkenhead Point Marina round, they're today's race sponsor. Noakes Blue will be next. Appliances online. Kitchen Maker led this group round. Birkenhead Marina in all sorts of trouble, trying to get their spinnaker up after a jibe set.
Just managed to save that.
Here's the appliances online. They're looking ugly. Oh, they've saved it. Hang in there, boys. Noakes Blue with a blue spinnaker, surprisingly. Just ahead of them is the Kitchen Maker, but again, we're seeing a really close battle for the leading group. 4 or 5 figuring in it. Andu led at the weather mark, but he's dropped back quite significantly after a poor spinnaker set. Vintech just getting themselves up after a capsize.
Just seen on the Vintech when we went past them, they only got one tiller extension, so it might be...
That makes life difficult.
Makes it very difficult on an 18-foot skiff.
Well, you can steer from leeward on the leeward's wing, make things really super ugly. Okay, we're looking at a group that went hard to the right, looking downwind. The red spinnaker, Shaw and Partners. The white spinnaker is Smeg. And the red spinnaker, Tech 2. Bottom of the screen, just going across with the red spinnaker, was no sailing. Coming across, you'll see him short. Oh, he's jibe, and that's Yandu with the white spinnaker. Off screen at the moment was Andu, who led the fleet at the weather mark. He's on a screamer coming in, still on port jibe, but I think it will be Smeg that will lead. Smeg with the white spinnaker. So they're approaching the gate for the first time. This is the second of 4 legs.
They've all got pleasure boats to deal with here. Shore and Partners and Smeg both turned yachts around then.
Smeg absolutely full throttle. He will lead. Shore and Partners doing a good job with the red spinnaker. And Tech 2 not out of it by any means. No sailing. A little bit behind in probably 4th or 5th. Just ahead of Yandu, the 2 veterans, Sean Langman and John Winning Senior. But it's Smeg that will lead at the gate the first time. Breeze up from the first race. We're on we're on Smeg. An early drop for them. I think they're a bit. They overlaid there, did they, Andrew?
Oh, Smeg's in trouble. Smeg's in big trouble.
Smeg's in real trouble.
That's the end of Smeg.
We're off camera. He's capsized. That's the news I can bring you. Smeg is
Tech 2
capsized.
looks like they're going to.
They went for an early drop because our Smeg Tech 2 has gone for an early drop, but it's Shore and Partners that will lead. Wow, that's an upset. That's an upset.
No, Tech 2's going to lead, Pete.
Tech 2 will lead, will he?
Yep.
Shore and Partners on starboard. Tech 2's got a jibe. Yeah, it's close. Tech 2 will jibe just in front of Shore and Partners to lead round the right-hand gate. Andu will be 3rd and Noakes again right into it in 4th spot.
Hey, Pete, did you watch the dial-up of Tech 2?
Perfect.
Jibe and dial-up.
Perfect.
Slightly better than perhaps other persons that we know.
So Andu 3rd. Well, what a disappointment for Smeg. They had to drop early because they weren't laying, and then the drop didn't go well. I think the spinnaker got caught to leeward, and they just tipped it.
They got a bit bowed down, Pete.
Yeah,
Got water in the chute, and
away they went. So the order: Tech 2, Shore and Partners, Andu, Noakes Sailing, and Yandu and Finport pretty close together. Yandu going for the left-hand gate, Finport jibing now going round the right-hand gate, looking downwind. Shore.
Anyway, Smeg done a good job to get it up and
did a
going
good job
again.
second.
They did a great job.
Yes.
You know, full capsize with the spinnaker up, and then less than 2 minutes is pretty good.
I guess, Bucko, with Trent's big pause, wouldn't matter if it's underwater or above water,
Yeah,
it'll come in pretty quick.
And a few angry pills,
Yeah.
I would think, indeed. Wow, breeze well up now down at the bottom here.
More to the point is Zach got a walk home tonight. His son on Andu.
Oh, there's going to be...
Oh, okay.
If he beats him, has he got to walk home?
Okay, we're watching now.
Where are we?
Is that the
Birkenhead
best
Point
movie?
Marina going round. They're
wouldn't
late.
mind betting it.
Kitchen Makers late with their drop. Good breeze now. Terrific. Oh, Noakes Blue in real catastrophic trouble. There they go. Hang on to it, boys. No. Sayonara Chongo.
And
behind them,
Appliances
Appliances
Online to join the
Online.
party.
It's a graveyard. There's
And
another one out to
Lazarus,
windward.
maybe?
Lazarus.
No.
They're
They've
far
held it.
from comfortable. They can have a chat, those boys, while they're sitting on the fin. Lazarus coming in good pressure. And the Royal Oak Four Pines, today's winner of the first race, they had a capsize nearing the windward mark, so they're well out of contention in this second race. Good 14 knots of breeze here.
We might head off and go chase the
Just
leading
watch
pack.
Lazarus and Partners going round there clean, just, and the Royal Oak just trying to get their spinnaker down, and they are in the last couple with just ill they.
So,
to
Pete, just
come down.
looking at that, if the breeze goes any further right, looking upwind, it's almost all port jibe to the finish. Up range, jibe angle down to about 70 degrees.
He'll be coming downwind in a good gust, but well behind the rest of the fleet. Well, there's the race leader, Tech 2. He led at the leeward gate. He's gone across to the right-hand side of the course, just tacking now. While Shaw and Partners, who was second, he's gone almost into Steel Point, coming back now on port tack. But all eyes are on Tech 2. Smeg was the race leader. He capsized nearing the leeward gate the first time, and he recovered reasonably well. Not easy to recover after capsizing with a spinnaker half up or half down. He rounded the gate on the left-hand mark and went hard right, and now he's coming back off the Bradley's Head shore. Here's Tech 2. In a moment you'll see Shaw and Partners. Shaw and Partners will lead.
Yep. Yeah, Tech 2 went the wrong way a little bit there, Pete.
I think he probably had to come over and have a look at Smeg to just maybe protect him a little, although he's a long way back. But it's given opened the gate for Shaw and Partners. Tech 2 in a down on starboard tack, so Shaw and Partners up on port.
Yeah, breeze just fading and going back to the left a little bit here. Tech 2 the wrong side of that one. Shaw and Partners, Jim Colley, Harry Bethwaite in the middle, and Sean Connor in the bow. They've been sort of struggling for form, but fairly brave call to go against the whole fleet with a little rig. But at this point, they're breaking even, I guess is fair to say.
That looks like Harry up the bow, mate.
So
The score sheet we've been given's a little bit out.
Yeah, they've changed it around, eh?
So, but Jim and Sean, they both sail together in a 49, or part of the AST team.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, that combination's probably pretty solid that way with Harry up the bow.
Well, the conditions quite different to the first race today. It was very light, this first race, 12 maximum, but mostly around 10 or less. And Shaw and Partners, who we're watching, had the small rig on. He finished 10th this morning in the first race today. But at the moment, he's smelling the roses as he lays into Shark Island with his small rig. There's good pressure here, 14 plus knots.
It's coming into
as
tack.
he's just tacking, and so this small rig really coming into its own. Nice tack.
Yeah. Well, and compressed course, fair bit of tacking. Once you up range a bit, easier to turn the corners with a little rig in, but it's still a mile down to the finish, Pete, and the big rig usually wins that battle.
Yes, but at the moment they're clearly ahead. They went again. There was a big split. They don't mind splitting this fleet, do they? I mean, Tech 2 went hard left, Shaw and Partners hard right, and Shaw and Partners has really opened up a good lead here on Tech 2. He's a good couple of 100 metres ahead of Tech 2. Breeze looks fairly steady looking upwind. They're about 2/3 of the way up this windward beat. Milk Beach, the Hermitage into the background as Shaw and Partners tacks. See in a moment Tech 2 as we pan round to him. Little bit of inversion in his mainsail, Andrew, in Tech 2.
Yeah, just nicely. He'd be happy with his rig choice. Nicely uprange and a little bit less wind tendency to soften a little bit up near the top.
Here's another tight cross, Andu and Tech 2.
Andu's across.
Andu on starboard tack, has all the rights.
But, I mean, Pete, you'd imagine Tech 2's happy here to go out to the starboard tack ley line, yeah?
Yes, I think so. He just had to pull behind
he had
Andu.
to duck.
No problems there.
Andu's going to the land of the spectator and anchored obstacles, Peter. Not quite so good, I don't think. So you see here where we are on the camera cat, just on the corner of Shark Island. Breeze perhaps back down to 12.
Yes.
So just softening a little.
Tech 2 will be second, I think, by the time he crosses back with Andu, but at the moment, Shaw and Partners still holding a quite a substantial lead. He's in good pressure. He's going out towards the starboard tack ley line as well. That's him with the darker black sails in the distance, and Tech 2 in the foreground. Shaw and Partners not far off the ley line.
Yep.
In the distance.
So both boats in a good puff now. Tech 2 fully twisted for a sec here.
There goes Shaw and Partners.
And what we've seen of Tech 2...
Tech 2, all he can do is basically follow him in.
Yep.
And
good
the
lifting puff coming on the
fly
other
in the ointment will be where's Andu when he comes back. He went hard left. So Tech 2 should be tacking any second, you'd think.
Yeah, no.
There he goes. 1, 2, 3. Let's go, boys. There we go.
He's been a bit conservative there, in fact. Yep. Shaw and Partners cracked sheets.
Rose Bay Convent at the top of screen. Nice bit of real estate if you can afford it. Shaw and Partners approaching the weather mark for the last time. The run to the finish, all that remains. And it's not going to be an easy one.
Yeah, they're experienced guys, you know, that shouldn't trouble them, I don't think, but they'll always be looking over their shoulder a bit, won't they, Jimmy, knowing that the guys with the big rig are just coming at them.
So there's the set, it's good. And there's a yacht trying to, just off screen. It's a bloke with another brains of a kumquat. He's just really right in the mix here, this bloke.
No, not you.
So Shaw and Partners is away. Next is Tech 2. Well, that's a good lead. That's a good...
Shaw
and Partners in the distance. Just had to get in the lee of Smeg. Okay, Tech 2 round. That's a race to the finish. Shaw and Partners with a small rig on. Tech 2 with a big rig. It's between those two, you'd think, as Andu will be third and fourth will be Yandu. And Smeg has got himself back into fifth, I think. That's a pretty good effort. Andu around in third. All these boats on big sails. Andu jibing. Has doing a jibe set, but it's on Tech 2 driving hard down with a big spinnaker. Yandu was fourth around. Smeg, great recovery, fifth. And what we're seeing ahead, if we can get onto them, as we watch Yandu set, Tech 2's come down with a screamer, put the bow right down at Shaw and Partners. We'll see them in a moment, hopefully. There they are. Shaw and Partners still leads. So he's got to hold his nerve here, Shaw and Partners. As the challenge is coming from Tech 2. Jim Colley at the helm of Shaw and Partners, running away on port jibe. That's Tech 2 we're on now. Boat top of screen, I think, is Tech doing a capsize routine, or is it?
Appliances online, Pete.
Oh, appliances online, yep. He's had a bit of trouble with the water today. He's been a bit horizontal instead of vertical. Now Tech 2. Screaming down the shore towards Steel Point as he goes into a jibe. Oh, great jibe. Lovely jibe. So the race is on. Shaw and Partners on screen. Sydney skyline in the background. They've just gone past Shark Island. They're about halfway down, a bit over halfway down the final leg. A race in two. Shaw Partners with a small rig on. Tech 2 with a big rig. the defending Australian champions. Who's it to be today? Shaw and Partners or Tech 2? A great overhead shot of Tech 2.
It's going to be pretty close, Pete.
It is.
Tech 2 on the favoured jibe and laying from there.
And we're on Shaw and Partners now. They've got at least one more jibe in, at least one more. He's looking for a little lift to jibe on, to put the header down on the other jibe. But he's got bowed down at the moment. Oh, I think he's all right. Oh, in the background, Tech 2 had to avoid a yacht, a cruising punter, another idiot, who went across the bow of Tech 2. Tech 2 had to do a hard luff. But we're on Shaw and Partners. He's held his nerve, but Tech 2 is coming quickly.
Shaw and
A
Partners,
race in 2.
300 metres dead downwind to the finish
A
line.
race in 2 here.
Just got to get the jibe done. Tech 2 smoking down the middle, laying the finish.
Here's Shaw and Partners. Oh. Oh. And Tech 2 is going to cross ahead, I think. Tech 2 will come into screen shortly on port jibe. He will cross. And I think the little rig's going to hurt now. Tech 2, full noise, will do the job. Bad luck for Shaw and Partners. It's sailed a pretty good race. Still not over. He's on starboard tack. Tech 2 will cross. Absolutely. Tech 2 got the job done.
Yep.
It was another thrilling race.
And Tech 2's composure under severe pressure, pretty impressive.
There they go. Tech 2 first. Sure.
Jimmy, let's go back up. Price, whistling in the background.
Sure. Very excitable.
Okay, so Phil, can you go back up and get
Well,
this next one coming down?
So, Sheppers, your old boss is going to get third here, I think.
yes. I don't know what happened to Andu. He must have
I think
got submarining, did he?
Yeah, I didn't see.
We didn't see what happened to him. But he looked a bit wobbly downwind, but it's going to be Yandu. Oh, here comes a ferry. Ferry's going to have a play here with Noakes sailing with a red spinnaker, have to go behind him. And Smeg and Yandu, what a battle for third here. I think Yandu's going to do it. Smeg's
in trouble here.
Trouble here.
Yep, they got out of it. Wow. But Yandu's going to get it.
Yandu, fine effort.
think.
Oh,
No, maybe not. They got a
no,
try.
I think Smeg's going to come in and starboard tack rights. He called him. He's going to get it. Oh,
Yeah, Smeg by an inch.
Yes, Smeg Yandu. Wow. Well, lovely recovery from Smeg. Remember, he had a capsize at the end of the first run. So that was a terrific comeback by Smeg. Oh, poor old Noakes sailing. Had to. And then now in no wind at all. Look at them. They're just zero wind from the ferry. Birkenhead Point.
How about that?
Wow, that's a terrific performance. Their best performance of the regatta. Well done, boys. They're pretty happy, and why wouldn't they be? They're the best performance in fifth, and the race sponsors for today, Birkenhead Point Marina. And the consistent Noakes sailing, after got chicken winged up by the ferry, they will be sixth.
Yeah,
Finport.
they were head to win with a shoot up.
Shoot up, yeah, that's not advisable. So sixth was Noakes, seventh the winning group. Well, we've seen over these last few weeks some unbelievable racing. I just can't stress it enough. It's really been thrilling. The race has been right in doubt till the end. As winning group go across in seventh. Poor old Finport, he's still struggling. And as as I said earlier, I don't know what happened to Andu. They were in the top 4 at the weather mark, and they must have got wobbly downwind. I can't see them anywhere. So the kitchen maker next.
Well, Peter, if you remember, I think they jibed set at the top, didn't they? They were living a bit dangerously the previous run. So.
There's the Royal Oak coming in ninth. They did a good recovery. They had a capsize, and they won today's earlier race. So they were ninth, and then Finport coming in 10th after they had a real tangle with the infamous Manly Ferry.
There's been some traffic today, hasn't there, Peter? Been very difficult times.
As we wind up race 7, we'll just recap on today's adventures, and they were terrific racing. In the first race today, which was race 6 of the Australian titles, Royal Oak 4 Pines was the winner, Noakes Sailing second, Smeg third, Finport fourth, Tech 2 fifth. In the second race today, which is Heat 7 of the Australian Championship, a thrilling race right to the end. Tech 2 was first, Shaw and Partners second, Smeg by 1 second over Yandu was third, Yandu fourth, Birkenhead fifth, Noakes Sailing sixth, the winning group 7th, and the kitchen maker 8th. So by my humble scoring system, so we've had now 7 races, we've got 2 races to go. It really is a race in 2 for the championship.
And two full-length races for the viewers.
That's right.
2 conventional,
and you'll drop 1.
Harbour courses.
So without a drop, it's a little bit meaningless, but a little bit relative to the point score. We've got, interestingly, we've got Smeg on 14 points and Tech 2 on 15. So, as I said, a race in 2. Those boats have really dominated, but today's 2 different winners. A different winner in the Royal Oak, and Tech 2 winning her 4th heat of 7 so far. So she's been a pretty good model of consistency, and Smeg also another fine day for her. 2/3, and in the second race today she had a capsize, so she did very well to recover. So it's been another terrific day out on Sydney Harbour. Our tech crew have done a wonderful job bringing the pictures to you. A Sail Media production for the 18 footers. On behalf of the technical boys, we say a thank you to them, to our captain and commander James Bury for driving us impeccably around the course, no mistakes. Andrew Buckland giving us the water temperature 100 miles to seaward, which is always a great insight for our swimmers out there. So we say thank you to James and to Andrew. And I'm Peter Shipway, and we look forward to a full race next week, race heat of the Australian Championship. So we say a very good afternoon from a sun-drenched Sydney Harbour, and we'll see you next week.